When the 80,000-ton steel beast splits the morning fog of Victoria Harbour, have you ever thought that this piece of water, which used to look up to the strong ships and sharp cannons of the great powers, is now embracing the pride of the deep blue of the Chinese nation, in the posture of the master? As the morning sun dyed the blue waves into gold, China's first domestically produced aircraft carrier Shandong slowly sailed into Hong Kong Bay like a moving mountain range of steel. Helicopter rotor stirs the airflow, the pilot boat plows a white track. 055 Type 10,000 tons of large drive, Yan'an, ship's phased array radar array in the morning light in silence rotating. 052D Type, Zhangjiang, ship in 054 Type, Yunqing, ship as a loyal guards arching the left and right. This has a complete offensive and defensive system of the modernization of the aircraft carrier fleet after 8 years. Once again, the majestic posture of the country's most important weapon is branded on the Hong Kong skyline. The 10 J-15 carrier planes parked densely on the deck reflect the cold metallic luster. 3 of them are in the state of waiting for flight with low roar of the engines, and their static posture is like the bowstring storing up strength, ready to shoot arrows to the dome of the sky at any time. Both sides of the Victoria Harbour have long been turned into a boiling sea, tens of thousands of people waving the 5-star red flag into a red wave. The fireboat jet giant Watergate in the sunlight refracted colorful rainbow neon. 78-year-old Uncle Chen at 5 a.m. in Sim Sha Tsui Pier, binoculars reflecting the aircraft carrier island. His trembling fingers in the camera shutter release, when the British ships to enter the port to bow down, today to see their own carrier. The spine is all straight. What's even more touching is that 700 officers and men are lined up on the flight deck, spelling out the words, national security and family well-being, with their snow-white uniforms. This is not only a warm tribute to the Liaonings, Hong Kong Hello, in 2017, but also the iron will of national security and the deep expectations of people's well-being cast on the steel deck. The 10,000 reserved tickets for the opening of the ship were snapped up within 60 seconds, setting a record for a public event in Hong Kong. When 14-year-old secondary school student Lin Wei touched the tail of a J-15T fighter jet, the cold metal conducted the temperature of civilization. A dialogue between a great power and the city's fireworks across time and space was completed. Gazing at the array of fighters on the deck, the code of scientific and technological iteration is clearly revealed in the details. The first appearance of the traditional skidding J-15 and the catapulted J-15T in the same frame constitutes a three-dimensional profile of the development of China's naval aviation. The front landing gear of the catapult type is as thick as the root system of an ancient tree, which is a composite structure specially made to withstand the 100-ton pull force of electromagnetic catapult. The titanium alloy joints of the catapult traction bar are glittering with a blue luster, just like the nerve bundles connecting to the future. Inside the gray active phased array radar cover, thousands of T-R components are constructing the 1,000 miles eyes, and the detection distance is upgraded 3 times compared with that of the mechanically scanned radar. Optimized wingtip mounts can carry PL-10 combat missiles, and the photoelectric probe has been moved from the nose to the right side of the cockpit. These seemingly minor improvements are the result of countless wind tunnel tests and electromagnetic compatibility tests. The most exciting thing is the 3 J-15Ts in combat readiness. The PL-15 missiles mounted under their bellies have a range of over 200 kilometers. And the black coat on the yellowish body of the missiles implies that they have just returned from the training ground in the western Pacific Ocean. Shandong ship this soared incense. Behind the 26 days of far sea, sharpening of the smoke has not dissipated. In the waters south of Iwo Jima, Shandong Fleet Formation and Liaoning Fleet Formation for the first time in the second island chain to start red and blue confrontation. Training data show that the two carriers peaked at 140 carrier takeoffs and landings in a single day, in which the J-15T mounted electronic warfare pods to implement electromagnetic suppression, the new Z-20 anti-submarine helicopter sonar arrays, constituting a radius of 300 kilometers of three-dimensional guard circle. The moment the anchor chain of the giant steel ship sank into Victoria Harbour, the ripples of strategic deterrence have shaken the entire western Pacific Ocean. On Yongxing Island in Xisha, the YJ-21 hypersonic missile, with a range of 1,500 kilometers, was disarmed in synchronization, and the trajectory of its wave-carrying warhead coincidentally covered the latitude where the Shandong ship was located. This kind of aircraft carrier visit and missile loading of the marvelous Echo, just like the great powers game of the yin and yang twin sides, open and transparent warmth show and thunderous strategic deterrence, together constructed a complete spectrum of sovereignty. Intriguing is that in Shandong's ship open visit the same day, the United States, Japan, Australia and the Philippines announced the deployment of the Joint Theater Command System, in Luzon Island, and the Deck 12 Hang Live Ammunition J-15T. Its combat radius will be the United States and the Philippines' New Clark Air Force Base into the scope of the strike. This strategic registered letter, delivery precision, comparable to a scalpel-cut geopolitical texture. From the Liaoning renewed rebirth of the toddler, to the Shandong ship independent construction of the head stride, steel evolution of each welding joints are engraved with the national industrial system of the maturity of the code. Shandong ship island and the Liaoning ship shortened by 14%. Freeing up the deck area is equivalent to increase 4J15 parking. Hangar volume expanded by 20%. Of the secret is the use of domestic ultra-high-strength steel. The thickness of the bulkhead is reduced, but enhanced the explosion-proof capability. The ship more than 3,000 key subsystems to achieve 100% localization, and even tungsten carbide cores of the blocking cable are branded with the "Made in China" steel mark. The metamorphosis of the shipboard aircraft system is also shocking. J-15T's front landing gear after 3,000 catapult tests without deformation, equipped with the KL-100 radar, can simultaneously track 40 targets and guide 8 missiles to attack. J-35 stealth shipboard aircraft are being test-flown using 3D printed titanium alloy skeleton, the body of the weight reduction of 15%, but the increase in the 3 weapons compartments. Airborne Police 600 Early Warning Aircraft folding radome unfolding. The Airborne Police 600 Early Warning Aircraft has a folded radome that can cover half of the South China Sea. When the Victoria Harbor sea breeze blowing hunting military flag, octogenarian lifted up the trembling cell phone to focus on the ship island. Teenagers tiptoe to touch the cold touch of the skin of the warplane. These moments constitute the most vivid footnote on the road of China's aircraft carriers. Military observers note that the Shandong ship anchored always keep 2J-15T in 5 minutes emergency takeoff status, steam pressure in the engine room to maintain the combat alert value. This warmth not disarming posture is the new era of the great naval power of the spirit totem. History is staging a meaningful twist when the hegemonic alliance, because of the command struggle and economic repercussions into internal attrition, when the ASEAN 10 countries in the South China Sea Code of Conduct fell on the signing of the pen. The balance of power in the Western Pacific has been quietly tilted. Shandong ship deck rivets shining every light, our independent innovation of the spark, engine low roar of every vibration, are in response to the sea to the strong pulse of the times. With the Fujian ship electromagnetic catapult test into the final stage, the world witnessed a rare, 3-stage jump in the history of human aircraft carriers. The transition from skidding takeoff to steam catapult was directly across the electromagnetic catapult 45 seconds to release a warplane efficiency than the Nimitz class by 30%. More expected as the outline of the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier is becoming clearer. A Ship Research Institute exposure of the integrated reactor model shows that its power density reaches Ford class 1.7 times. When the Hong Kong girl Lin Wei in the aircraft carrier VR experience cabin to complete the simulation of ship landing, helmet echoed, hook successful, electronic sound, she may not have realized that he touched not only the joystick, but also the Chinese people through the deep blue key to the future. The steel beast anchored in Victoria Harbor at the moment will eventually turn into a starburst in the blue light of electromagnetic ejection, igniting a broader journey into the deep sea that will be the new maritime ambition of the 5,000-year-old farming civilization to the blue planet.